Good morning.
Morning then. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, girls. You guys try to answer the questions at the back of the book for chapter 14. Oh, we can see whatever is left. Okay, I think we finished off with question number 420. Well, we can just go over them together and see what's next. So girls, that's okay. If you still have any questions about it, it's okay. The relevant topic or so, yes, okay. Please feel free to ask. Okay. So question 420. And we are on page 509. So what we say is okay, it's true and false. So what we mainly ask is okay, yes, is the signal to noise ratio unchanged? Even if you, for instance, okay, adjust receiver gain. Where we know the receiver gain, that was your amplification. Okay, but the main says, okay, will the signal to noise ratio remain unchanged or is okay equal? Or the main is okay means to be unchanged is equal, even though it's okay we increase or decrease, that's okay you're receiving gain, and that's true. The ratio remains the same. Clear? Okay. And as a matter of fact, yes, okay, it was 1-to-1. Because it was going to be 1-to-1, or we could say which is okay, 2-to-2, 3-to-3, 4-to-4, so on and so on. Okay. So that's okay. It remains the same. just because we adjust the receiving gain. Actually, that's okay. Increasing it or decreasing it is not going to increase or decrease the ratio. Did that make sense? Did that make sense, ladies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And as I said back then, yes, okay. Your amplification is going to be, yes, okay, equal in two ways. One was that it had an equal, signal to noise ratio. The other was that, okay, yes, all signals, because all reflections which are not that are amplified are equally amplified. There could be, because it's okay, increase twice, 10 times, whatever. All reflections are going to be equally amplified. Okay. Next question is, okay, true or false, the sonographer can make an image of uniform brightness by adjusting the output power and receiver gain. Now that's going to be false, okay. False. Because what they mean by uniform brightness is that, okay, the brightness from top to bottom is going to be the same. Okay, that's mainly as okay what we will achieve by compensation. Okay. Right, okay, but here it's okay, what they ask us about is okay, you can say okay, the pulsar output. And yes, okay, your amplification. So that makes it false. If you're not going to just okay, get a uniform brightness from top to bottom. Okay. But that's maybe as okay what we get by compensation. We can say okay, the main purpose of the compensation was to get just okay a uniform brightness of your image. Is that clear? Okay, so as far as okay, as for your pulsar output and or amplification, it's okay, we do not get a uniform brightness of the image from top to bottom. Is that clear? I even think that okay, this is mentioned in okay, as what we can call as okay, a hint box or note various, okay, especially as okay when it talks about the amplification. Question 424 or 422, sorry. Okay, which of the following is the typical value for amplification of a signal by the receiver? Okay. Now the first one is just watts. Oh, yes, okay, which is just the unit of power. Option D, as in donut, is yes, okay, expressed in the unit of what you want to call it, intensity. So neither of those can be as okay the typical value of amplification, because ladies' amplification was going to as okay be expressed in the unit decibel. And that's where it's okay, option B, as in boy, can't be amplification because it was negative decibels. So the only option that makes sense here is option C, which was plain as okay decibels. Because negative decibels, that will mainly mean or the negative, I mean, yes, okay, mean that, okay, yes, that would be yes, okay, most likely yes, okay, would have been attenuation. Is that clear? So as long as you know the unit or amplification, yes, okay, you should be good. From minus 50 to minus 100 decibel, the minus mainly yes, okay, means indicates that there will be yes, okay, air decreased. Take your iPad. Okay, goes 423. Now, as the process of adjusting for path-related attenuation called? And that's why I say it's okay that compensation, mainly it's okay that we compensated for attenuation. Okay, where we mainly can say it's okay, which was going to be it's okay directly related to the path length, or what we also say okay, or in this case it's okay called depth. Which mainly means that okay, as the sound reflects from greater and greater depths, you're going to have more and more and more compensation, and that's why it's okay we have that's okay a curve that may look something like this to compensate. Right, okay, where we said okay, it's along the y-axis was depth, whereas along the x-axis was compensation. Right, okay, where this here was called near gain. Then we had a delay. We then had okay, yes, the slope as we call it. Then we had a knee. And then last but not the least was going to be it's okay the far gain. So that will be it's okay your compensation. Compression, that was for your rescales or contrasts. Time gain compensation, I don't know why they didn't choose that as an answer, because another name for your compensation was time gain compensation. Maybe they chose that's not being the answer because they mean it's okay, chalked off okay as the path length. But both B and C should have been yes, okay, the correct answer. Okay. Question number 424. Now, which function creates an image of comparative brightness from top to bottom? And that's what I mean, it's okay, mentioned in the question about, it's okay, earlier, that was going to be, it's okay, your compensation. Okay, that was going to give us a sorry. Okay, comparatively brightness from top to bottom, or it's okay, we can say, okay, a uniform brightness from top to bottom. So that was going to be, it's okay, your compensation. Okay, but if we don't get that in, okay, it's what we call receiver gain, which was also what was known as amplification. And okay, yes, power output, which we also consider as okay, would be as okay, transducer output, or that other list of okay, yes, other yes, okay, output intensities. Okay, but here is okay, they use the word swept gain compensation, which was mainly as okay, just another name for compensation. Okay, or rather, yes, okay, we could say okay, that was called swept gain. Okay, so that's just okay as another name for compensation. But if you don't know, yes, okay, that this is a synonym for your compensation, you will be lost. Question number 425. Now I asked, okay, as a similar kind of question from you ladies when we did compensation. But what I mean is, okay, just ask us here is, okay, which transducer system is most likely to have the longest delay on its TGC curve? Whereas, okay, if you say, okay, it's a TGC curve like this. Okay. Now this point here is, okay, that was the, what we call delay. Now what they mean is, okay, just mean by, okay, yes, the longest delay is going to be as okay. The main is okay, be the same as saying it's okay. Delay at a greater depth. Okay. Now the easiest cheat for this one here is okay, you mainly says okay, that's going to be as okay, the transducer that has okay as the lowest attenuation. Because let's say as okay, as sound is going to attenuate, that may mean that okay, will be able to travel to greater depths before it's okay, before the delay. Or we can say, okay, point of delay is going to be as okay, initiated. Okay. Now they have given us okay, a different types of transducers, okay, linear array, annular array, mechanical transducer, annular array, and so on. So let's disregard those terms that are not going to be as okay related to the attenuation. The main thing that is going to okay be related to your attenuation of all these transducers is going to be as okay the frequency. Now, since here we are looking for as okay less attenuation or the least attenuation because we are looking for a longer delay, mainly will mean that okay as we will need to look for the lowest frequency because we already know that attenuation is directly proportional to frequency. Which mainly will mean okay as if you're looking for the lowest attenuation, that may mean that we will look for the transducer with the lowest frequency. And the transducer of with the lowest frequency in this case is the one that has 2.5 megahertz. So just because it says annular next to it doesn't, I told you that's okay, that is completely irrelevant. It could have been okay as a linear sequential array, it could be a mechanical, it could be any transducer. that is not going to have, okay, as any effect on the attenuation. It's going to be the frequency of the transducer here that will play a role with the attenuation. Right. They had it asked opposite and says, okay, shortest delay rather than longest delay, then we can say, okay, shortest delay. That mean is okay, would mean that they're okay, we say, okay, shortest delay. We mean okay, as that we had a delay at the shallowest depth. Like up here, for instance. Okay, this would be the point at which, okay, it's our slower start. That would mainly mean that, okay, yes, greatest attenuation. Greatest attenuation, that would mainly mean that, okay, we would need to look for the transducer with the greatest frequency, which in this case here will be the one that says, okay, 7.5 megahertz. So you can see, ladies, that's okay, there's okay, yes, pretty much okay, it's very basic explanation to your answers. But you still have to just, okay, know that, okay, yes, attenuation is, we can say, okay, more attenuation is, okay, shallow delay, less attenuation, deeper delay. Did that make sense? And then, okay, let's relate that to, okay, to the frequencies. Yes, Shaq.
So for high frequency, it's going to have a shorter delay, and for
Exactly.
okay,
Because it attenuates sooner, right? Did that make sense?
yes,
Because what the high frequency is going to do is, you already know that, okay, as attenuation is, yes, okay, our frequency is directly proportional to attenuation. Well, that means that, okay, as if you had a high frequency transducer, it will start to attenuate at a shallower depth. Did that make sense? That would mainly mean that, okay, yes, those reflections, okay, now returning from a shallower depth compared to, yes, okay, for a low frequency transducer, wouldn't start as, okay, to have more compensation, as, okay, more compensation will be required. But here the me is, okay, just ask, yes, okay, at which transducer is going to, yes, okay, well, the question asks, yes, okay, which of the transducer is going to have the longest delay, which means, okay, that the delay is going to be at the greater depth. That's going to be a sound that it is less attenuating. Where do you get that from? A low frequency transducer. Did that make sense?
yes,
Okay. Now you can be given the same question and, okay, yes. Or we can say, yes, okay, the same transducers, A, B, C, D. But the question may ask you, yes, okay, sorry. The same transducer, but yes, okay, you may be asked, okay, yes. It says, okay, which of the following transducers? Because it's pretty much okay what you have been given, right? Okay. A list of different transducers. Okay. Because it says, okay, we'll have the highest attenuation coefficient. Now, my dear ladies, the highest attenuation coefficient is going to be the one with the highest frequency. Which would have been, sorry, 7.7.5 megahertz. Yeah, if it go with, okay, we can say it's okay, the lowest attenuation coefficient. And that will have been as okay, the one with the lowest frequency, which in this case is okay, was 2.5 megahertz. Does that make sense?
Yes,
There, okay, we can mean it's okay, just change what you've been asked about and say, well, okay, greatest half layer value thickness. Now that greatest half value layer thickness are going to be as okay, the lowest frequency, which in that case will have been as okay, the 2.5 megahertz. Or if they go as okay, lowest half value layer thickness, then that was going to be the one with the highest frequency, which again is okay, will be 7.5 megahertz. Right, okay. There you then can say as okay, a transducer with a high attenuation coefficient that will okay have a shallow delay. Where okay is a transducer with a low attenuation coefficient is going to have okay, a deep delay. A transducer with okay is a high half value layer thickness is also okay going to have a deep delay. And likewise, it's okay, a transducer with a low half value layer thickness will have a shallow delay. So similar, yes, okay, kind of okay, as transducers, PPP can be given to you, but yes, okay, you doesn't necessarily have, or you, it's not necessary that you be asked about, yes, okay, the delay of the TGC curve. They may ask you the very same, okay, which has a shallow delay or deeper delay. But they may also say, okay, which of the following transducer has like a great or a low attenuation coefficient? Which of these transducer here has a high or low half value layer thickness? That makes sense. For all these questions here is okay, you can mainly say okay, the type, whether in linear array, annular array, mechanical transducer. Okay, they have a linear array again. Even if it says okay, vector array, curvilinear, that's not relevant. Did that make sense? So the main is okay, info that you should be as okay, concentrating on will be as okay, the frequencies. Did that make sense?
yes,
Okay. Or 26. Now, all of the following are used to describe compensation except from. Now they're giving us 4 terms, and okay, let's say okay, all of them explain describe compensation except from. May you're saying yes, okay, which of the following here are, we can say okay, of compensation. Now sweat gain was one, time gain was one, and okay, yes, depth gain was one. Whereas okay, it's amplitude gain. Well, okay, a little wake, but you can say it's okay, amplitude gain. Yes, okay, just have been is okay, what we can call is okay, receiver gain, which again is okay, was amplification, which was not similar to compensation. Right. The only similarity between compensation and amplification was that okay, is in both cases, because it's okay that there was okay, is going to be an increase of the signals or the reflections intensity. That was the only similarity between compensation and amplification. Did you ladies get that? Oh, that's okay. If you know, that's okay. The three synonyms for your compensation, that's okay. You can say, well, okay, amplification gain is not one of them. Is that clear? Now 427. Now, which term describes the region of the minimum amplification on a standard TGC curve? Now we can say it's okay, it's okay, a standard TGC curve or something like this. And the mean says, okay, which of the following terms describes the region of minimum amplification? The region of minimum amplification was this one here. No, sorry. Yeah, okay. Which mainly is okay, well, in this case, I mean, okay, minimum compensation. Because they talk about is okay, the curve. Okay, now practically, yes, okay, this region here was called, yes, okay, near gain. Okay, now they say far field, focus only. Now far field is what we have in your beam. We say, okay, this here, that's also far field. Then they say focus only. That will be here. Again, that's okay, related to your beam. Clear? Then they say focal zone. Well, okay, yes. Something like this. And then they say it's okay, area close to the transducer. Which is okay, would be this area here. And that's the area where we have minimum amplification. Okay. Did that make sense? Although some of you say, well, isn't that going to be as okay, the near zone? Yeah, but near zone, that was when we talked about a beam. Here is okay, this is what we were, it's okay. The area of the ultrasound, which is going to, it's okay, require minimum amplification, or we can say it's okay, more correctly, it's okay, minimum compensation on a typical TGC curve. So once there's okay, talk about is okay, the TGC curve is okay, things such as far zone, focal zone, focal point. It's not really relevant. Did that make sense? So that's where you may as okay can just use as okay you were exclusion and exclude A, B, and D. Did that make sense, ladies? Question 428. Now, what does the far gain of a depth gain compensation curve represents? Again, that's okay. Always okay. TGC curve. And we say it's okay, this area here. That will require it's okay, far gain. Okay. Now, directly, ladies, as okay, you can exclude the two options that say minimum. Because what you mainly have, okay, is in your far gain area of the compensation curve is going to be as okay. Maximum. Why? Because the signal is returning back from its okay, these greater depths here has undergone, because okay, greatest attenuation, which will mean that they will need maximum compensation. Is that clear? So that's why okay, your option B, maximum amplification related to compensation. Or I could even say it's okay, maximum amplification related to depth. Or even also it means okay, we can say that yes, okay, and accurate explanation of okay, yes, the far gain. That the opposite would just apply to yes, okay, to your near gain. Minimum amplification related to compensation or depth. Is that clear? Where okay, as if we, for instance, okay, went on with okay, as the slope, we can mean it's okay that I will have gene and increasing amplification related to increasing depth. Which means that okay, as we go deeper, we can say that okay, yes, that there will be as okay an increasing amplification. Did that make sense? So although yes, okay, they didn't ask about yes, okay, this one here, but I already given you yes, okay, what the answers could be for yes, okay, your near gain or for your slope, if you were asked about it. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Or 29. Now, at which imaging depth is the slope of the TGC most effective? Okay, now which depth or which imaging depth is the slope of the TGC most effective? Now this is your TGC. And we already said that, okay, as this here is okay, was your slope is most effective. Okay. Now it's not going to be as okay the region close to the translucent, because the region close to your translucent, that will mean yes, okay, B, yes, okay, or option A, that's mean yes, okay, you were near near gain. So option A mean yes, okay, is giving yes, okay, or recall yes, okay, the near gain. Okay. Far zone. No, yes, okay, again, yes, okay, relate that to your beam. And we can mean says, okay, in the far zone, what is it that we have? Indirectly speaking, yes, okay, greater diameter, which may mean yes, okay, mean lower intensity. Clear. Okay, so lower intensity mean it would mean that, okay, yes, that's because okay, that could be as okay due to as okay greater attenuation, or you can say as okay would need apply greater attenuation. I mean yes, okay, will need more compensation. So at a point of your slope, if the focus falls here, which is most likely as okay going to be the case. Okay, but that will be as okay the main one. Yes, okay. That's well, okay, yes, be the most effective part of the slope. Most effective, we can say, okay, our greatest, greatest intensity. Did that make sense? What will our greatest intensity mean? In terms of just okay related to attenuation. Lowest attenuation. And lowest attenuation will mean the lowest compensation needed all the way as okay on the slope. So even as okay on your slope, actually it's okay. Let's do it this way. This is okay. This is your image. Okay. We can mainly say it's okay that this is our slope. Or this is our TGC curve where we can mainly say okay, this here will be your slope. Where you mainly can say it's okay for this depth here is okay. There was no compensation required because that was just okay, your delay. Or you can say it's okay, your near zone or near gain. Then we had the delay. And then yes, okay, the slope mean is okay, just as we said, increasingly increases as increasing depth. Until is okay, get to is okay the knee, and then we have okay as the far gain. But even if you, for instance, say it's okay that at this point here, let's just say that okay, at this depth here, it's okay, that is our focus. But you may find that okay, as primarily as okay, due to your focus, this area here may still be as okay, have a greater brightness. Even as okay, compared to as okay, regions or areas up here, which will be as okay, due to your focus. Which may mean that okay, this would be as okay, the point in the course of the beam, where the beam is at its narrowest. So that may mean that okay, as you might slide as okay, at this depth here is okay, may slightly as okay, decrease your focus. Or you can say okay, decrease your compensation. Not a whole lot. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. And the mail that's okay, specify as okay, but I think it's okay, the slope. That's okay, the other that's okay, remain is okay, just I mean okay, it's completely, you can say it's okay. Our question to you and me is okay, be an answer. Question 430. Okay, it's okay, true or false. Now, lower frequency transducer of an ultrasound beam. Now, let's say it's okay. The lower the frequency of an ultrasound beam, the shallower delay of the TGC. And we already, okay, said that okay, the lower frequency mainly would mean that we have a lower attenuation, which will mainly says okay, that will practically lead to okay to I guess it's okay, deeper delay on the TGC curve.
No, that's false.
So that makes it false, right?
It's a higher.
Because here it says it's asking us about a shallower delay. Did that make sense? Clear? Okay. Had it said
Higher.
A higher frequency, sorry. Higher frequency. That would have led to us okay, a shallower delay. Clear? Okay. Then it would have been true. We just mainly as okay, just because okay, smuggle this as okay relationship. Huh? No, good. All right. Okay. We may as okay, just smuggle okay as this attenuation relationship in here too, as okay. Make it easier for us to, you can say okay, figure out the answer. So we go to yes, okay, 431. And again, yes, okay, true or false. So typically the sonographer can adjust the compression function of the receiver. And that's true. Now, please keep in mind that, ladies, that okay, as it's only one part of compression that can be adjusted. Okay. The other part, okay, you can say like the two phases in which compression happens. The first is pretty much okay, automatically we can say it's okay, adjusted by the system. but we will still be able to, yes, okay, do, yes, okay, some sort of adjustment on the compression of the signals. Question number 432. Which means, okay, it talks about, it's okay, demodulation. Now, as I said the other day, ladies, mainly, it's okay, just 2-3 things that you needed to know about demodulation. First of all, no real effect on image. Unlike, okay, your compression, compensation, amplification. Both, yes, okay, affect the image in one way or the other. Second was that this fellow here is not adjustable. Which means that, okay, something that, okay, the system means, okay, will take care of automatically. Third was that, okay, as it was in 2 stages. Which respectively, as okay, were rectification and what we call enveloping. Enveloping was also known as smoothing. So the process, okay, so what they mainly are asking us about here is the process of demodulation incorporates which of the following tasks. Now, more than one answer may be correct. And we see smoothing. We have that here. So A as an apple is one of the answers. Let's just go on. Amplification. Now, amplification is not related to demodulation. Amplification is just okay as another task or job performed by the transducer. Then the other one is okay as rectification, which we just have here as well. Yes, okay, that's an answer as well. Okay, decompression. Well, okay, I don't know what the blue dot is going to be, but okay, anyways. Okay, so these were, okay, as we said, okay, 2 possible answers. That were, okay, always for processes of your demodulation. Question number 433. Which is again, as okay, related as okay to the demodulation, which means as okay, which of the following best describes the demodulation process. Now, changing of the grayscale of the image. Now, go changing of the grayscale, that is going to be compression. Changing the frequency of a signal. Okay. That has nothing to do with your demodulation. Okay. Change in the form of a sound pulse. Okay. And changing is okay, the electrical signals form. Now, indirectly, it's okay, they just asking about okay, reference to okay, rectification here. Because like, what was it that we said the rectification was? That we okay had for instance, okay, a sound wave like this. Or it's actually it's okay, once it gets to the receiver, it's going to be as okay an electrical signal. Okay, we said okay, this, for instance, okay, that was plus. But when it gets rectified, and because it's okay, that these down here is okay, they were mean as okay, just negative electrical charges. that it actually is okay, goes on and become something like this. This was a positive, and this was a positive. Where this is mainly as okay, there's going to be it's okay word before the rectification with the negative charges of the electrical signal. Okay. So that's mainly as okay, what is going to be as okay explained in option D. Changing of the electrical signals form. Did that make sense? Which was okay as one of the steps of demodulation. Did you ladies get that?
Yes.
Good. Now, question 434. And it's true or false. So the primary purpose of demodulation is preparation of the electrical signal for the display on a television monitor. And that's true. We can mean it as okay, first of all, as okay, the purpose of primary as okay, the purpose of rectification was to cause that's okay, that's all these, which primarily as okay was sound waves returning back to the transducer. When transducer they got changed into as okay, electrical signals got received by the receiver, the receiver mainly as okay, first did rectification. The whole purpose of okay rectification and all as okay demodulation as a whole is to prepare as okay these electrical signals so that they can be converted into something that actually is okay will form okay as an image that's going to is okay to be displayed on a well okay here to see it's okay television monitor. Let's disregard the word television. Right, okay. So monitor will be as okay. Consider that correct answer. But that's okay. That's the whole purpose of your demodulation. Now, question 435, which again is okay, is true and false. And the meaning is that okay, typically the sonographer can control the demodulation process performed by the receiver. And the reason that I didn't erase all this scrapper up here is because the answer for that is written right there. It was not adjustable by the sonographer. Clear? Okay, so yes, okay, that makes this fellow here false. Okay. That there's no knob, there's no function button or anything that we can, okay, as twist or turn, touch, or do anything to just, okay, adjust the demodulation. I say, okay, we want to increase the demodulation, we want to decrease the demodulation. That is not going to happen. This means okay, something that is, you can say, pretty much okay, as predetermined by the system, how it will do it. So that's okay, at least in this process, we have no say. Did that make sense? So since we have no say as okay, that's when we as okay, will not be able to adjust it. Any questions?
No.
Good. Question number 436. Now, the process of eliminating low amplitude signals from further processes is called which of the following, except from? Now we have a list of 4. Oops. Reject, subordination, okay. That could be written more legible. Threshold, and okay, suppression. Now the main thing, ladies, here is okay, yes, because it's okay, of low amplitude signals. And that was a reject. Finally, we know that as a reject. We also know it as threshold. And we also know it as suppression. So the only one that does not belong to this list here was subordination. Here, and what I said, and what I mean is, okay, reinforce your goals, just okay, make sure that you remember. That okay, as reject, threshold, or suppression is going to, it's okay. Elimination. Or if not elimination, complete elimination, we can at least say it's okay, reduction of low amplitude signals. And what I mean is that, okay, these low amplitude signals here were called. That one, what we is okay. In diagnostic imaging terms were referred to as noise. Okay. So rejection is mainly it's okay, we can say it's okay, just a noise filter. That wisely is okay, it filters out the noise because it's okay. How we recognize noise means it's okay, we're saying, okay, noise is going to be it's okay, those constant, low intensity or low amplitude signals. And mainly it's okay. So if I filter out those, what is going to it's okay be left behind after the filtering? It's going to be it's okay, strong amplitude signals. And that's what we actually, it's okay, we use for the diagnostic image. For a similar filtering out of something which is going to be low in another chapter will be as okay, just the same as okay, reject. So if you understand reject is going to be as okay, each is okay, just correlated to yes, okay, a topic that will come up in another chapter. The last question for this chapter here. And that is 437. Now true and false. And typically, it's okay, the sonographer can adjust the threshold level. Now, some of you say, okay, what the blue was the threshold level. Okay, threshold was just another name for reject. Where reject also is okay, was known as suppression. So this very same question here could be asked, and I say, okay, yes. Typically, yes, okay, the sonographer can adjust the suppression level. The answer will still be the same, and which is true. We can increase or we can decrease the reject level. Okay, and what you mean is, okay, we mean by, let's say, is okay. Let's say that, okay, we increase the threshold level. That may mean that, okay, as we increase reject, which mainly as, okay, will just mean that, okay, as, or increase in the reject mainly will mean that, okay, as, that is going to be as, okay, because it's okay, increased elimination of low amplitude signals. Now, some of you guys says, okay, scratch your heads and say, what the does this mean? Now, if yes, okay, just take yes, okay. Let's say that this is okay as our amplitude scale. Where we can say as okay, that at this end of our scale is okay, what we have is okay as greatest amplitude signals. And we say it's okay at this end of the scale here is okay at the lowest amplitude signals. Right, yes, as we go from, let's say it's okay, A to B on our scale. Okay, we actually it's okay, go away from it's okay, what maybe as okay at this level here considered as noise. And this is okay, B is okay, we can say it's okay, OB is okay, the signals. Whereas okay, we say it's okay that we increase the reject. That may mean that okay, as more of the lower amplitude signals are being eliminated. Whereas okay, as if we say it's okay, decrease the reject, decrease the threshold, or it's okay, even it's okay, decrease reject, that may mean lesser of the low amplitude signals are being filtered out. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, okay, that was not directly written in your book, but yes, that's what you may have to think of. Okay, ladies. Now that was all that I could you can say it's okay offer for what is on your mid-term. Now, girls, let me just see what I did. So everybody's aware that okay, yes, the midterm is going to be as okay on August the 10th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Which now I think previously as okay, your second quiz was on August 15th or so. Which is going to be, it's okay, too soon to have, that's okay, 2 tests. All that's okay. There are not going to be that many chapters on your third quiz. So I may, that's okay, just postpone that on to August 18th. Okay. So please note that it's already, it's okay, done on your lesson plan or syllabus. And do I have all of yours attention? If your cameras are off, just raise your hands. Okay, no. So the chapters for your third quiz, or quiz number 3, will be 15, 16, and 17. Is that clear? The 16 is okay, that's a bim bam boom chapter. Okay, so that's okay. We mean it's okay. Just have 3 chapters for your third quiz: 15, 16, 17. Now goes the days that we have left. How do you want to carry it out? Like, I don't care. You girls are in the driving seat. Would you like to have, yes, okay, the last day as a review? Or do you want, yes, okay, runningly? Because it's okay, the session after your lunch break will be review on a daily basis, whichever.
Review on a daily basis.
Okay, so one goes with review on a daily basis. So we can
Review.
continue on in our course, not be on a standby. We'll say, okay, well, after lunch, that hour or 1.5 hour or whatever. Whatever questions you may have.
I agree.
Or should we just say, well, okay, last day or 2, we can take a review session. Like, it's either way, it's fine with me. But it's not what it's fine with me. That's going to is okay, be the last word. It's what you girls want. But then I want you ladies to ask the questions. Okay. Okay, girls. So just take, should we say it's okay, a short 10-15 minutes break. And when we get back, we can start with, okay, yes, the chapter 15. Okay. So I see you ladies, should we say at 10:40, that's fine. Okay, girls, welcome back. Now your second quiz, as stated on what you want to call it, Brightspace or the app that we're using, is pushed to August 18th. Okay. And the chapters already are announced. As well, so 15, 16, and 17 will be, yes, okay, the 3 chapters that you have on your upcoming quiz. So, well, okay. Let us just go on. Okay, ladies. Go chapter 15. Which mainly says, okay, now it talks about is okay, displays. And what do you mean by display? Well, you can say, okay, whatever we see on, okay, that's what they in this case ever refer to as display. We can also say it's okay, which would be as okay, the monitor, or which we also as okay, call is okay, the screen. Yeah, so that is one of the topics that okay, yes, we'll be discussing in this chapter. And another thing is going to be as okay, what we mean is okay, it says okay, the processing. Okay. More correctly, as okay, we say we're processing of okay as the data. What data? Well, girls, if you just take the journey from okay, from where we started, we say it's okay, pulsar. Then we had the beamer. From the beamer, yes, okay, the signal went through what we call the switch. From switch to the transducer. From transducer to tissues. From tissues, yes, okay. Signal came back to transducer. From transducer, that's okay, went through switch. And from switch, went to receiver. Now, what the receiver did to these signals, yes, okay, that's mainly is okay, what we just talked about in the previous chapter. So what we mainly as okay, we'll be discussing in this chapter here is mainly going to be as okay, what happens to the signal after it has been processed by the receiver. So most or less, okay, that process of data, if you want to put it that way, is going to be as okay. One of the main things that we will talk about is okay, when we talk of processing of data. But as okay, you guys may still see that okay, yes. Some of this processing is okay, actually is okay, maybe is okay broad. As okay, may as okay, start from is okay, the transducer. And then say, well, okay, maybe it's okay, just because okay, not really going to the details of this, but maybe it's okay, it's going to happen. What will be is okay, the remaining processing of data. Okay. But we may as okay just in some cases as okay start the discussion from the transducer, and mainly as okay in the reception phase, because okay, always that the signals are going to be processed after they were received. Okay, but we start the discussion from the transducer, go from transducer may as okay put in the receiver into the equation, but then mainly as okay what happens afterwards. Okay, but ultimately as okay the whole goal of this is that okay as whatever reflections that we got back from as okay the different boundaries of from the different tissues, that information which we know in this chapter we refer to as data is going to be processed. And ultimately, it's okay, what is that we get as a result? We get an image displayed on what you can call is okay, the display, your monitor, or the screen. Clear? And based on whatever this image here is okay, shows us. That's where we say, okay, this is where we conclude. Did you ladies get that? Did you ladies get that?
Yes.
Good. Now, ladies, this is one of those chapters where I may, it's okay, be jumping a little bit. As we can say, it's okay, back and forth as we go. So our main is okay, just you go, just okay to look at page 240 in your book right now. And what we mainly can say is that, okay, it talks about, it's okay, two display controls. Now the two display controls are mainly going to be as okay, one which will be brightness. Which mainly is okay, what says, how is this controlled? How is the brightness controlled? That's mainly going to be controlled by as okay, your B mode. Because we already know that okay, as in B mode, the word brightness or the letter B actually is okay, meant brightness. That we mainly as okay, just in the previous chapter said that if you, for instance, okay, increase the brightness, but you can say it's okay, increasing the, I mean, that's okay, twisting your B mode knob anti-clockwise. What we mainly did was, okay, as we made the image become more bright. Or we actually, that's okay, because it's okay, by doing so, it's okay, will actually, it's okay, increase amplification. Did that make sense?
So turning the knob clockwise enhance the amplification?
Yeah, and then will make your image become more bright, right?
Okay.
Okay, that is okay. I better keep my mouth shut. Well, okay, on the other hand, yes, okay, if we turn it anti-clockwise. Well, that mainly mean that okay, we reduce the amplification. Which may mean that okay, as we reduce the brightness of the image. Did that make sense? Now, what you may see here is okay, that the term brightness, which mainly is okay, are controlling by our B mode knob. It's also referred to as brilliance. So brilliance is just another word for brightness. Or you can say it's okay. Bright. Can also be known as brilliant. Did that make sense? So brilliance is just another name for brightness, where you say bright is going to be brilliant. And that's why they made it okay, just as okay, define brilliance. Or not, sorry, brightness. Is that okay, that's going to just okay, determine the brilliance of the displayed image. That okay, as we had an image. And what was going to just okay, one of the controls that was going to just okay, display whether this image here was going to be bright or have okay, it's a great brightness, which we could just say it's okay, we'll have a great brilliance. Or whether this image here was going to yes, okay, have a low brightness or low brilliance. Was made as okay, determined by us okay, whether we decreased or increased our B mode. Or we could make it okay, just increased or decreased our feature. So if we increase on our amplification, which is made as going to be as okay, be achieved by as okay, turning the B mode knob clockwise, we will increase the brightness of the image, or we increase the brilliance of the image that is displayed. Whereas, okay, if we turn counterclockwise on our B mode knob, that practically as okay, reduces the amplification of the signal. I mean, it's okay, we'll call that okay, as our image is going to be overall reduced in brightness or brilliance. So brightness means okay, just determines the brilliance of the displayed image. How is that adjusted? With help of the B mode knob. What did we do when we adjust the B mode knob? We adjust the brightness or the brilliance. How? By adjusting the degree of amplification that the reflections were going to be amplified to. Where we in chapter 11 said that B mode displayed, or we as okay call brightness, along as okay that z-axis, or that this brightness actually is okay indirectly as okay, or directly meaning as okay just meant the amplitude which was increased by increasing the amplification, by increasing the B mode. Which will make it okay your overall image brighter. Or on the other hand side, you can say, okay, you can reduce the brightness, you can reduce the brilliance by reducing the amplification, by reducing your B mode, which may or just says, okay, that it reduces the amplitude of the signals that were reflected. They were going to be as okay, amplified to a lesser extent. But this is mainly as okay, the knob by which is okay, we control one of the things on the display and say, okay, this is how bright and this is how dark we want our image to be. Did that make sense?
Yes.
So it's actually not, there's nothing here that is new information, girls. This is all old information that has been discussed in previous chapters. Maybe just in a different way. But even at that point, yes, okay, I say, well, okay, this is how it's going to be. So right now here, there's nothing new. You can just say, okay, the greater the amplification, any reflection is going to be. We just made it okay, call okay as a greater amplitude. That means okay, just go from this to this. You can say, okay, this was too much because your image became too bright. We discussed that in okay, as your Alara. Right, okay. Where we say, okay, then there was two ways to, yes, okay, reduce the brightness of the image. In context to Alara, we say, well, okay, if your image is too bright, the ideal thing to do would be just, okay, reduce the power output. Whereas, okay, just reducing on your B mode means, okay, just by turning it anti-clockwise going to cause that the signal is going to just, okay, amplify to a lesser extent. It's okay, that reflection may as okay, just be amplified to, let's say, as okay, and be with an amplitude like this, which may be just right. Yeah, we can say it's okay. This might have been as okay. We can say it's an amplification of okay as 1,000 times, which could have been too much. Yeah, okay, this one would just have been okay as because that's okay, just an amplification. That's 100 times. But we practically want to say that okay, as this wave here, B is 100 times, has an amplitude which is 100 times greater than E. So how do we control just okay the brightness? Or as they just okay, just or some people just okay, whereas okay, get okay, the brilliance is okay as another term or another word that just means the same thing as brightness. Is practically, that's okay, controlled by our B mode. So with help of your B mode, you can actually just okay make your images more dark, more bright or more brilliant. Or yes, okay, you can make them less bright or less brilliant. When will you go from yes, okay, you can say it's okay, reducing the brightness to yes, okay, reducing the brightness from, we can say it's okay, a strong brilliance or brightness to a low brilliance or brightness. You mainly as okay will go in this direction here if your image was too bright. Right? Whereas, okay, you may go in the opposite direction. From a too, yes, okay, too dark image to yes, okay, to a brighter image if the image was too dark. Or had too low of a brightness or too low for a brilliance. Did that make sense? Yes, ladies. For God's sake, say something.
Yeah, it makes
Okay. So if somebody at some point is okay, give an answer that I wasn't expecting, I may say, oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Well, that's why I may say, okay, well, this is a bright student. Or he or she is brilliant. So, yes, okay, if for any of you, yes, okay, the term or word brilliance is a new word, well, okay, just say, okay, that just means the very same thing as bright or brightness. You can say brilliant will be bright. Brilliance will be brightness. That brightness mainly just means, okay, pertaining to being bright or pertaining to the brilliance. Clear? You're not finishing that one now?
No.
The one on the wall?
Because this one seemed more urgent.
Okay. Any question, ladies? No, okay, girls, the other thing that we may talk about, or that's okay on our display control is going to be as okay contrast. Now, first of all, girls, please note the definition of contrast in the book. Now we can read it out together. Contrast. Now that determines the range of brilliance within the displayed image. Now we say range of brilliance. Now the magical term here is range of brilliance. There we can say, okay, if it can be range of brilliance, it can also, as okay, be range of brightness. where we said brilliance or brightness. Mainly it's okay, just determine as okay how dark or bright that image was going to be, right? Did that make sense? Whereas ladies says, okay, here the magical term is the range. But this range here is okay, we mainly will say, okay, there's going to be some point that's okay where we may have a minimum. And okay, there's going to be as okay something that may be as okay what we consider as okay as the maximum. But this is going to be as okay the range. Now theoretically goes or practically as okay when we say as okay contrast. And we says okay this range is okay, that's actually as okay, this range is going to be as okay what we as okay will refer to as your grayscale. And again, it's okay when we talked of compression in the previous chapter. I said, it's okay, your compression is going to be as okay related to the contrast, which is going to as okay be related or as okay, you can say determining as okay your grayscale. Where your grayscale is nothing but it is going to be as okay the range of brilliance. Because although it's okay at the minimum brilliance, the minimum brilliance or minimum brightness, if you want to call that, that side of your grayscale is always going to be black. Whereas, okay, yes, the maximum brilliance or maximum brightness on your grayscale, ladies, is always going to be as okay white. But then, yes, okay, your contrast is mean that's okay going to be determined, dependent upon how many shades of gray do we have. If you have many shades of gray, that's going to be as okay a great grayscale. Whereas, okay, if we had a, let's just, okay. Whereas, okay, we have a low varieties of gray. That's going to be as okay a low range of brilliance, a low range of brightness. Or a low grayscale, or vice versa. Did that make sense? So the range of your brightness is going to be as okay, or it will determine your contrast. There I briefly mentioned that okay, as the term contrast actually is okay, just means difference. Difference between. In this case, it's okay, difference between what? Yes, okay, your shades of gray. As you go from the bright or the dark side of your grayscale towards your lighter side of the grayscale. Or you can go in the opposite direction if you want to. That doesn't really matter. But mainly it's okay when you compare on your scale, we can say it's okay. One shade with other shade. That difference between, yes, okay, these two shades here, for instance, is going to be referred to as the contrast. If that makes sense. Did you ladies get that?
Yeah.
So when you look at contrast versus brightness, the definitions may look alike. But when you say, yes, okay, the range of brilliance or the range of brightness, that may indicate that, okay, you're talking about the contrast. Whereas you just say, yes, okay, the simple brilliance or simple brightness of an image. Well, okay, that's going to just, okay, determine the brightness. Whereas contrast, I mean, going to be, it's okay, being determined, that's okay, by the range of brilliance. Now, how the range of brilliance or range of brightness, or we can say, okay, your grayscale, that's okay, will determine the contrast. And as we later on, it comes to, yes, okay, what we refer to as, okay, as a contrast resolution. Okay, but the question is, okay, as how is it that, okay, as this contrast here is controlled? We mainly, as okay, control that by compression. If that makes sense. So practically, yes, okay, we control the contrast of your image by compression. How? By different grayscales. What are grayscales? Well, okay, ladies, these are mainly as okay, that's going to be as okay, what your system actually as okay may refer to as gray maps. So by choosing a specific gray map, you actually is okay, choose a specific grayscale, which may be as okay, a small grayscale, it may be a bigger grayscale. Clear? They all depend upon us, okay, whether it's a small grayscale or a greater scale grayscale. It may have, okay, as a low range of brilliance or a great range of brilliance. And that greater or lesser range of brilliance is going to just, okay, determine the contrast of your image. But you mean you can say, okay, on a scale or on an image, you may see as okay, two. Let's say that, okay, yes, we had this shade here from our grayscale map on our image. And let's say it's okay, the neighboring shade, for instance. Okay, which color should we choose? Okay, let's just say this one. Okay. And okay, and maybe it's okay, coincidentally, it's okay, they are shown adjacent to one another on the image. So this means, okay, there's going to be, okay, the contrast of two shades or two shadows on your image picked out from, yes, okay, from your grayscale, this grayscale that we choose. But we can mean this as, okay, the difference of the brightness of these two shades here. It's mean that's okay going to be determined based on it's okay how great or less a contrast is it that these two shades here had on your grayscale. Yep. Okay. So one way by which it's okay we control that is by compression, because it adjusts compression aid by okay as choosing a whatever grayscale. Okay, that grayscale that's going to just okay make our image we can say is okay suitable for the eyes. Okay, for the eyes. Okay. Did you ladies get that?
Yes.
And okay, goes as I said earlier, so okay, this is one of those chapters where I may be as okay jumping a little bit back and forth. So I mean it's okay, just ask you to flip the page over and go to page 239. Because on 239, yes, okay, what they mean is okay, just talk about we can say okay, two extremes of contrasts. So we can say okay, contrasts, extremes. Now, there's something that they call bistable. And we mean that's okay, we'll talk further in detail about yes, okay, what bistable is in a little bit. Or maybe it's okay, probably not today, but tomorrow we get to that point. And why we call it bistable as well. But then we can just say it's okay, just as okay, make it a little bit clear. We can say it's okay, we will say we are bistable, or we may have something which we say it's okay that is going to be okay, a small grayscale. Right, okay. And then on another side, we can say it's okay that we may have okay as the great grayscale. Now, girls, whenever we say bistable, that mainly just means that okay, that's going to be an image that only has two shades or two colors in it. And those two colors are going to be okay, straightforward, just black and white. If we can say it's okay, an image which is going to be bistable in terms of okay, as the grayscale. We can say it's okay, that's going to be as okay, the smallest grayscale, which only has two. And I allow to use the word colors, although it's okay, it's not going to be colors. And those two colors are going to be nothing more than black and white. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Okay, so the word bistable means okay, just come from, well, not really, but anyways. Or you can say bi meaningless, okay, will just be two. How two and so on, so on, so that's a later discussion. But me, yes, okay, just okay, look at these terms here and say, okay, how do they explain the degree of contrast? Now we can maybe say, okay, since we have yes, okay, this scale here with just two shades, black on one side white on the other side. Extremely bright, extremely dark. That's the only two ones. So a bistable, that's okay. Gray map, if you want to put that, that's going to be as okay because it has the smallest grayscale. That's going to be as okay be the greatest contrast. Because you compare black to white, you can say again, one is as dark as the night, and one is as bright as the day. So that's okay, it's going to be the greatest diff contrast. Where we mean said okay, contrast means was another word for difference. So when you compare black and white side by side, you can say, okay, they're completely opposite of one another. That means, okay, just mean that they have the greatest contrast. Oh, yes, okay, the image that you're going to get is going to, yes, okay, have the greatest contrast in it because of the smallest grayscale. Did you ladies get that?
Yes.
Good. Any questions so far?
No.
Now it's okay, we can just for an example say it's okay that we use some, it's okay, talk about something. We talk about it's okay a grayscale. Now we can say, okay, we have a short gray, small grayscale. I already said that bistable, that is the smallest grayscale because, well, okay, actually there's no gray in it. It's only black and white. But we can say it's okay, we have okay as a small grayscale. Maybe okay, still on one side we'll have okay as black. On the other side, we can say, okay, we have white. Where, okay, when we say it's okay, a low grayscale, well, okay, because it's okay, low grayscale, that's going to be as okay, mainly mean that will be as okay, a low variety of shades of gray. Where you can mean is that's okay, that this is going to be as okay, the varieties of shades of gray. That in between black and white, we are limited to as okay, let's say it's okay, just 5 shades of gray. Where we can mean is that's okay, as we go from the darker side or from the black side of the scale to the white side of the scale. We are okay, we'll have very dark gray, we have slightly lighter gray, even lighter gray, more light gray, and okay, as the lightest gray. But we say, okay, we just have okay, 4 or 5 yes, okay, varieties of shades of gray, which means yes, okay, just fall in between, yes, okay. On one extreme, it's black, on the other extreme, it is white. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Right, okay. Now, yes, okay, what we mainly, yes, okay. Now, just to compare it to, let's say, it's okay, not the bistable, because I was going to have the greatest contrast. But maybe it's okay, just to this greater grayscale here. We can actually say that, okay, this here will have a greater contrast. When we compare it to, yes, okay, the other grayscale map, which we can say, okay, it's going to be, yes, okay, a great grayscale. Now, why is it that we will call it as okay, a great grayscale? That's mainly because it's going to have us okay, greater variety of shades of gray. Where okay, as on the scale, yes, okay, we still have yes, okay, on one side was black. On the other side was white. Okay. But here is okay, we say it's okay, we will have a greater variety of grays. As we go from from the dark side to the brighter side. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What a number. 14 different shades of gray. Did that make sense? So we have a greater variety of shades of gray in, let's say, as okay, grayscale B contra to grayscale A. Which mainly will mean that okay, as when we compare neighboring shades of gray, because that's okay, we compare this dark gray here to this black, there's going to be a lesser difference. Likewise, we compare this to this, this to this, this to this, as we go from the darker side to the lighter side. That there actually will be a lesser contrast between the shades of gray, because we have a greater variety. Because we say, okay, at the starting point, it's going to be black, at the end point, it's going to be bright. But in this case, that's okay, since we come across a greater variety of actually, we're going to, it's okay, later on, we refer to as number of shades of gray. That there will be a lesser difference between neighboring shades. Or you can actually say that okay, this lesser variety or lesser number of shades actually also mean a greater, could mean as okay, a greater range. Or as we said up here, lesser range. Range of what? Well, okay, we taking it in terms of contrast. Range of brilliance. And range of brilliance. There we can say it's okay, the bistable had the lowest range of brilliance because there were only 2 sheets. There was no intermediate, there was nothing in between. Did you girls get that?
Yeah.
Okay. So as okay, if we go on to let's say another grayscale that we make it even bigger. We may say, okay, 14 is not enough. We may go to the extreme and say, okay, 20 sheets of gray. That is going to be even bigger grayscale. Now, any question? Any questions?
No.
Good. Now, ladies, I'm going to just, do something to your minds that's going to just, blow them up. Bistable, we said, was the lowest grayscale because we only had 2 sheets. I forgot about sheets. That was only just 2 colors, black and white. Now that made us create an image with the greatest contrast. But this greatest contrast is going to lead to us where we actually will call is the poorest contrast resolution. Okay. How and why? We will come to that. But then it's we compare it's these 2 grayscale maps here. A and B, because we can already establish, we can say, there's no doubt about it, as bistable is going to just, have the greatest contrast, and that greatest contrast is going to lead to the poorest contrast resolution. Now, what is going to just, determine your contrast resolution? That's a later discussion. As we said now, a small grayscale, as we said in A. But we had, why was it a small grayscale? Because we had a low variety of shades of gray. Or because there's a low range of brilliance. Which mainly caused that, as we would have a great contrast. Right, which would actually is be a great contrast. I mean, it's we compare A and B, or it's small grayscale versus large grayscale. We can say it's this one here will have as a good contrast resolution. Whereas as for map B, when comparing all these 3, or even if we compare it to A, mainly because of a lesser contrast, which is due to a greater variety of shades of gray. Which means that we're going to give us a greater variety, a greater range of brilliance. Because the different levels of brilliance that we had here was not just 5 as we had up here, not just 2 as we had here, but actually there's a whole range of 14 between black and white. So it's we had a greater number of the greatest number of shades of gray, or we can say the greatest varieties of shades of gray, a greatest range of brilliance, which means that we'll call that this out of all these 3 here will have the best contrast resolution. Did that make sense? Now, girls, have any of you ever seen, yes, okay, you can say, yes, okay, a picture or a photo of your great-great-grandfather? Or you may say, well, okay, when he was alive, okay, there was nothing known as pictures or photos. But it's okay, you can say, okay, there's a picture that I might have been taking, yes, okay, some 100+ years ago. And was printed out. Now, ladies, back then, you can mainly say, okay, that the photographic equipment, that's okay, even as okay, the photo paper on which as okay, they would develop the pictures was bistable. So frankly speaking, yes, okay, the only two colors that you would had on that was black and white. Whatever fall within, yes, okay, the dark range of shades would have been black. And whatever falls within, yes, okay, the light shades would just have been white. So literally saying, yes, okay, that bistable was, okay, yes, literally, yes, okay, black and white. Because there was no gray shades. Did that make sense? You
Yeah.
may be able to, yes, okay, girls, Google search, yes, okay, the first picture that was taken. Or you can say, okay, the first photography taken. And look at that and say, what the blue is this? All I see is, okay, something, some black and white shadows. So literally, ladies, that's okay, that was bistable. You can see as okay as the technology. Okay, technology. They choose the equipments, the printing facilities, or yes, okay, things like that, that's okay, improved. They were able to, yes, okay, say, well, okay, it's not going to be, yes, okay, just black and white. But we actually, yes, okay, are able to, yes, okay, catch these different shades of gray. Now, they were still considered black and white pictures because we didn't have color. You wouldn't be able to, yes, okay, say that, okay, as the guy or the lady whose picture was taken here was wearing, let's say, yes, okay, a red jacket or a blue hat. For instance, that red jacket might just be shown as, okay, as a certain color of gray. That blue hat might just be shown as, okay, as a different color of gray. But we went away from as, okay, that everything was just going to be black and white. Because that's okay. On a bistable image, that's okay. That image of the same person, you can say, it's okay, wearing the same outfit. That's okay. His head might be as okay as black. Okay, as anything. Because that's okay, you can say it was a dark blue. Whereas okay, his coat or jacket might have been as okay, displayed just as white because it was a light red. But it's okay, distinguishing between, yes, okay, those different shades. Or we can say it's okay, a range of colors, or range of brightness. God, yes, okay, more and more developed as you are able to, yes, okay, introduce greater and greater ranges of brilliance in forms of greater and greater and greater and greater grayscales. Where the grayscale increases, the contrasts or the difference between, yes, okay, shades as we go from the bright side to the dark side or opposite will be less. Did that make sense? So you may, yes, okay, even on today's day, yes, okay, well, okay. On a computer, yes, okay, be able to, yes, okay, Photoshop a picture of you. And turn that color picture into a black and white picture. But then, yes, okay, you can actually also, okay, play with the contrast of that picture. Where, okay, right now, yes, okay, your contrast maybe is okay, great because of a gray, because it's okay, grayscale. There's going to be a grayscale here because we're just dealing with, okay, blacks and whites. But if you want to, ladies, you can actually, yes, okay, reduce that grayscale down to, yes, okay, the bistable. And say, yes, okay, if this picture here was taken, yes, okay, some good 150 to 200 years ago. This is what it would have looked like. So you can actually, yes, okay, get a bistable version of your picture. Just give me a sec, girls. Here we go. Can you guys see this picture here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it may not actually, yes, okay, be bistable. Or you can say, yes, okay, the varieties of grays that we had when this picture here was taken was pretty limited. Right, okay. Now this to me is okay, just a copy of a scan of, okay, yes, a picture of my forefathers. And this was taken approximately some 135 years ago. So you can see that was not that many shades of gray that we had back then. We can go to, as okay, another picture which, okay, yes, where me actually has, okay, yes, a little bit, yes, okay, improvement. So you can see this one here. Okay, it's a little bit more, yes, okay, clearly. Then you can say, okay, yes, okay, there's a dark hat. Okay, yes, a lighter coat, and then yes, okay, you have a dark tie and a light shirt. But you can even, yes, okay, see, yes, okay, the different shades in the background. Now, this is not a 135-year-old picture. This may be almost 95-year-old. So yes, okay, that was a picture of my paternal grandfather when he was a teenager. Okay. Now, if I want to, yes, okay, I can actually, yes, okay, put color onto that. But then I actually, it's okay to choose what color do I want. It's okay, the cap to be, what color do I want, the background to be, what color do I want. It's okay, his shirt and tie to be. But had this been a color picture, it's probably easier to make it black and white than the other way around. Yeah, so that's okay, us. Okay, but that's okay, here in ultrasound, it's okay, we don't really talk colors because, well, okay, as the only colors that you will have on an ultrasound image, basically, is going to be, as okay, at one end it's going to be black, at the other end it's going to be white, and in between just is okay, different shades of gray. Where you mainly says, okay, how do we make gray paint or gray color? Mainly is okay, just mixing black and white. Now, depending upon, yes, okay, the ratio of black versus white that you mix together will determine, do you get a dark gray, do you get a light gray? So the more white you add into, it's okay, less and less of black, it's just going to become a lighter and lighter and lighter shade of gray. Okay. But whereas, okay, when we compare those shades of gray with one another, that actually becomes, that's okay, what we call contrast. Clear. Okay, but going from the dark side to the light side, it's okay. The shades of gray, or the number of shades of gray, or the varieties of shades of gray is going to, it's okay, to determine what we can call the range of brilliance. Because a dark is going to appear dark, slightly lighter is going to be a lighter, and so on. Until it's okay, you hit the brightest color, which, yes, okay, will be white. Did that make sense? So it's going to be, it's okay, the range of brilliance that will determine. So the magic word is the range. So greater range, greater variety of shades of gray. Greater varieties of shades of gray. That's okay, that's going to be, it's okay, a lesser contrast between them. The lesser the contrast, we can say, it's okay, we compare, it's okay, these two pictures here, you can say, well, this one here has, okay, has a lesser contrast and ends up having, okay, a better contrast resolution. Because even in the background, you can sense that, okay, there are, it's okay, different colors of gray. There is more dark here as we, as okay, go, oh, there is lighter. Not okay as very noticeable, but just okay, slightly if you look closer. Okay. Yes, here is okay, there was pretty much, you can say, okay, we have black. Okay, there's no doubt, this is black. We have, okay, different whites. And maybe it's okay, just 2-3 shades of gray. And that was pretty much it. So, so lesser the grayscale, greater the contrast. The greater the contrast, poor contrast resolution. Did you ladies get that?
Just for clarification, you said the higher the contrast, the poorer the contrast resolution?
Yes. Because, okay, what we actually, as okay, will do and say is okay, contrast resolution. how clearly can you see as okay, let's say, okay, a lot of the details in this picture here? Not much, right? A lot of things is faded out. Okay. By you, yes, okay, if you saw the original picture, that's okay. From back then, yes, okay. It's pretty much, it's not much better than this one here. Okay. But so that's why you can say it's okay. So contrast resolution mainly will mean that, okay, as dark red is going to, yes, okay, even on a color picture, that dark red is going to be accurately displayed as that dark red. But you can say it's okay, lighter red is going to be lighter red. You may look at a picture of a rose. For instance, we say, yes, okay, reds. And within that picture of a rose, you may see, yes, okay, that there are going to, yes, okay, be different shades of gray. Oh, sorry, different shades of red, sorry. Within that rose. Some will be darker, some will be brighter. And you can actually say, it's okay, that those different shades of red on the rose being displayed as being, yes, okay, due to, I was going to say, okay, be a good contrast resolution. Because you can distinguish the different shades of red from one another. Or they're distinctly displayed on this picture of a rose. That was red. Whereas, okay, if there was the same rose, or you can say, okay, same picture of, okay, the same rose, or using as, okay, a smaller grayscale, or you can say, okay, smaller varieties of reds. That some of those shades may not be clearly displayed. By as, okay, you can mean it as, okay, darker shades of the red, or just going to be dark red. Lighter shades of red, lighter red, and that was it. So due to, yes, okay, that greater contrast, you actually have, okay, as a poor contrast resolution. Because what does a resolution means? Accuracy. So when we say accuracy of the contrast, what mainly means, okay, is dark red shown as dark red? Is intermediate red shows as intermediate red? Is light red shows as light red? If that is the case, that's okay. You can say that's only going to be possible because we had those varieties of red on our red map, a red color map, right? And if not, then okay, yes, that light red might be smushed together with the dark red or smushed together with the light red. Which will give you, yes, okay, a poor contrast resolution. In this case, yes, okay, for your light red, for your reds. Or whatever color you say. Okay. So, yes, ladies, read a little bit on this one here as you chew on your lunch. And when we come back, should we start on the review?
Yes.
Good. So I will see you ladies at 1 o'clock sharply.
Okay.
And please make sure that you have some questions already for the SOK review that I can answer. Okay, girls, welcome back. And okay. Anybody got anything to ask about?
I do.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce the second word, but dynamic aperture.
Okay, dynamic aperture, yes.
Aperture, yeah. Can you go over that again? Because I'm not, it's not sticking to my brain.
Now, if you just look at it, it's mainly made up of two words. We say dynamic. And then we say the second word that is aperture. What an aperture mainly is, okay, just will mean is hole or opening. Clear. And when we say that something is dynamic, that can mainly as okay mean that it is constantly, or if you don't like the word constantly, it's continuously changing. So when we talk about it, okay, an aperture is okay, continuously changing. That's going to be as okay. That at some point, that's okay, it will be smaller. It may grow bigger. 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 Yeah, whereas, okay, as a simple aperture or hole would just have been any of these. But mainly it's okay because it may go from this to this, this to this, this to this, this to this, and this to this. That's why we call it a dynamic aperture. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Now just consider that okay, as if we had a transducer. And we can say it's okay, X, Y, Z number of PCTs. Now the whole point of okay as this dynamic aperture here was mainly as okay, primarily, the primary goal of a dynamic aperture was mainly as okay to, we can say it's okay, improve the lateral resolution. Improve the lateral resolution by what? By decreasing lobes. That makes sense. So what we mainly can say is okay that the dynamic aperture was going to be is mainly as okay as something in front of the PCT which might be narrowed down to so much like this. Where we can say okay, this would have been the aperture. But then it may as okay, it's not going to stay like this, it's going to be dynamic because it may get bigger. Like this, where this is going to be, it's okay, you can see the aperture. Clear. It may even get even bigger than that. So this would be as okay, your aperture. Did that make sense? So opening our dynamic aperture is mainly as okay, what just goes like this. If you say it's okay that the space between my fingers, that's okay, makes an aperture. That goes like this. But the whole purpose of it was mainly as okay, you can say improve your lateral resolution of the beam. Mainly by enabling as okay, the beam to focus at multiple points. Okay, and okay, yes, the other side is okay, also is okay, reduce the production of lobes. So you can say from time to time to time to time to time, it's going to be as okay, a greater or smaller number of okay, as your PCTs that actually is okay, well, you can say partake in the formation of your beam. Did that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes, my dear.
Could you go over the 13 microseconds rule again?
Okay, listen, my dear. Now, 13 microseconds rule. Okay. Now, first of all, it's okay. This 13 microsecond rule here is well, okay, because it applies to soft tissue. And that's what I mainly, yes, okay, said as yes, okay, start talking about yes, okay, for instance, different medias in which the sound wave was going to travel. As far okay as ultrasound physics is concerned, yes, okay, we will mainly as okay be concerned or considering or talking about yes, okay, the physics in relation to yes, okay, soft tissue. Why? Mainly because okay, that was mainly yes, okay, the tissue that was at the intermediate level of all tissues. Whether that was in terms of propagation speed, or whether that was in terms of attenuation. Did that make sense? Okay, so first of all, yes, okay, your 13 microsecond, yes, okay, that applies to soft tissues. Mainly because it's intermediate. But here, yes, okay, what's going to, yes, okay, be playing a role. It says, okay, or related to, yes, okay, 13 microseconds is going to be, yes, okay, the propagation speed of sound in soft tissues. Is that clear, my dear? So it's based on, okay, this propagation speed of sound in soft tissues that we has, okay, established the 13 microsecond rule. But which mainly says, and okay, you can say, okay, that we have 1 centimeter thickness of soft tissue. So this was okay as a layer of soft tissue in a total depth of 1 centimeter. We may can say that the distance from here to here should be 1 centimeter. Is that clear so far?
Yeah.
So what the 13 microsecond rule actually tells us or states is that it will take the sound wave 13 microseconds to travel to the depth of 1 centimeter and back. Clear? So you can maybe as okay, put that in different words. You can say it's okay that go and return time. Now, if you go back to chapter 7, you will actually realize that we also call this go and return time here. Sorry. The time of flight. Right, okay. Or the PRP, whichever. Right, okay. For the soft OS, okay, we can say that for a sound wave. Or even yes, it's okay, and you can say it's okay here, pulse. So the go and return time, time of flight, or PRP for a sound wave. 2, and now I'm saying it's okay. The depth of 1 centimeter. Because that's what we have here. That's going to be okay. Depth of 1 centimeter is equal to 13 microseconds. How did they calculate that? Mainly because they say, well, okay, as the speed of sound in soft tissue was okay as 1,540 meters per second. Or as they may say, okay, 1.54 millimeters per microsecond. So based on this speed, that's why the mean is okay said that it's going to take the sound wave 13 microseconds to travel to the depth of 1 centimeter and go back. So that's why I say, and I said it, and I will still say that, okay, as the 13 microsecond rule accounts for the go and return time of what we call time of flight, which is going to be, okay, time to go and come back. But for how much of a distance? The depth to which the sound travels, that it takes 13 microseconds to go and come back. That depth is going to be 1 centimeter. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Or we can also just, okay, just write it other way and say it's okay. That, okay, as the sound wave. Or if you want to say it's okay, pulse. Okay. Will take 13 microseconds to travel to the depth of 1 centimeter and come back. Where we made as okay as traveling. I mean, it's okay because we are measuring in the terms of time to a depth and come back. This will apply for it. I mean, it's okay, meaning specified that we are talking about the go and return time. But if you travel to a distance of 1 centimeter and come back. And that's where most of you girls most likely got confused. Well, okay, the total distance traveled is 2 centimeters. Because it's 1 centimeter to go and 1 centimeter to come back. Or we can say it's okay that you travel anything. It's okay, you go up and down anything. You can say it's okay, there may be a pool of water. Now you or anybody is okay being a pulse. Every meaning is okay, let's just say, okay, that this pool here, for instance, okay, was 1 centimeter. That's going to be a pretty shallow pool, but maybe that's okay just to, okay. So you will say, well, okay, as it will take me as okay 13 microseconds to go down. And come back. Now since okay, yes, this took you 13 microseconds to travel to the bottom of the pool and come back. That becomes just okay, you can say it's okay, your go and return time, right? Clear? And what was the depth at which you went to? The depth that you went to was okay as 1 centimeter. But the total distance that you traveled actually went, well, okay, yes, okay, you went 1 centimeter down and you went another centimeter up. So that becomes just okay, your total distance would tend to be 2 centimeters. Did you get that, my dear?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Okay, great. So that's pretty much okay as where I think most students get confused. Okay, so that's okay. What we actually that's okay. Determine based on yes, okay, we have primarily that's okay. Or is okay, the 13 microsecond rule is well, okay, what is the depth? The depth to which yes, okay, the sound travel is okay, you can say like this will be as okay, it could be as okay, refer to as okay, depth of image or imaging depth. Okay, but where you mean you can say is okay, your total distance traveled. If you want to put that way, okay, your total distance traveled is always going to be equal to, well, okay, yes, the depth of image multiplied by 2. So whether you calculated that, okay, as your depth of image, for instance, okay, was 3 centimeters. Well, okay, you can then say, as okay, that the total distance traveled by the sound wave is going to be 6 centimeters. Or may you, as okay, determine that the depth of image was 3 centimeters. Because, as okay, your go and return time, for instance, okay, is given as 39 microseconds. Okay, which may mean that, okay, yes, they say, well, like it takes the sound wave or pulse. 39 microseconds, yes, okay. That's going to be yes, okay, it's going return time. So the only thing that you have to do was me is okay, just to divide this 39 microseconds here is okay by 13. And that will give you yes, okay, that okay, your depth of the reflector or the depth of your image was 3 centimeters. But then your total distance to go and come back, go to that reflector and come back would be the total distance that the sound traveled was going to be 6 centimeters. Okay, dear. Whereas, okay, as on the other hand, they may as okay give you as okay, you can say it's okay, the depth of the reflector. They will say, well, okay, the depth of your reflector, let's say it's okay, is 2 centimeters. Or depth of image, for instance, okay, is 2 centimeters. Now they can ask you 2 things. They may ask you, okay, what is the total distance traveled? Well, okay, that should be straightforward. It means okay, just multiply this 2. It means okay, just going to be doubled. So your total distance traveled by the sound wave to a reflector, which is 2 centimeters deep, and back would be 4 centimeters. With this information here, you can also be asked another thing. They may ask you, okay, yes, what is going to be as okay, for instance, your go and return time. Or time of flight, for instance. Right, okay, and that's when you mean yes, okay, we'll say, okay, what do I do with this 2 centimeters information here? Well, I'm just going to just okay, multiply that by 13. Because for each centimeter to go and come back, yes, okay, what had been 13 microseconds. But here we are talking about 2 centimeters. So yes, okay, my dear, your go and return time is going to be 26. Now, please make sure that you put the right unit, which is not going to be centimeters, but rather microseconds. Why? Because they're talking about yes, okay, the go and return time, where the unit for time is always going to be as okay, basically as okay, seconds. But okay, here we talk about okay, microseconds. Okay, okay. Did you ladies get that?
Yes.
And please, 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 please. Depth of image is not the same as focal depth. Okay. Because you can still have an image with a depth of image of, let's say it's okay, 5 centimeters, but have a focal point or focal depth at, let's say 2 centimeters, or you can even, okay, move it to 3 centimeters. You can even move yes, okay, 4 centimeters. You can even, yes, okay, if you have the right transducer, be able to just okay focus at both 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and 4 centimeters. Okay. The only requirement is that okay, as for this you have an array transducer. Clear? Whereas okay, for a mechanical transducer, well, okay, you can have any created depth of your image. Whereas okay, there's going to be only one fixed focal point of focal depth. Which meaning that okay, the beam is going to be focused at okay as one fixed point of one fixed depth. We can say okay here, for instance, okay, 3 centimeters, for instance. Okay. But that doesn't prevent you or forbid you from okay, as you can say, it's okay, increasing the depth of your image from 5 centimeters to let's say 8 centimeters. You can do that. So what the focal depth of focal point means is okay, that's what tell you is okay that okay, if this was your focal depth, this is going to as okay be the point at which okay, yes, the beam is okay, is going to be as okay at its narrowest point. Now for a mechanical transducer, that was fixed either as okay, externally focused or internal focus. Did that make sense? Whereas, okay, as for most of our array transducers, it was made as okay, going to be as okay that phase delay. But where we made it because yes, okay, that okay, as within one frame. Within one frame, yes, okay, can actually yes, okay, jump from a focal depth of 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters, from 3 to 4. Yeah, good. Any question, ladies?
No.
Right. So please, please, please make sure that you know the difference between the two. Right. The focal depth is not the same as depth of image. Okay, a matter of common sense that okay, as if your image depth was, let's say, as okay, 3 centimeters, for instance, then you won't be able to just okay focus at depths of 4 centimeters and 5 centimeters because they were beyond the depth of your image. It can mean it says, okay, well, yes, okay, the depth of image, that's mainly as okay where the line is drawn. And you actually won't be able to just okay visualize what's on beyond that line unless you physically as okay move that line by increasing as okay the depth of your image. Maybe I mean you can say it's okay if, for instance, okay, we are focusing at let's say 3 centimeters. Anything beyond 3 centimeters, it was 4 centimeters or 5 centimeters. They will fall in, oopsie, that falls into it's okay, your far zone. Yeah, it's too heavy for it.
Can I use the easel? I just don't want to drag mine over.
Yeah, take it out. Is that clear, ladies?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I might had gone a little bit off track, but anyways, you ask of one thing, then okay, yes. Buy one, get one free. Now, if he says it's going to be hard to fit over there.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Can I come over here then? I only have
Bill,
this
for
small
carpet,
table.
Jim.
Huh?
A carpet over here.
That's fine.
Okay. Now, if he says that, then it's going to spill over here. It's carpet. No.
Where can I go? I just don't want to go upstairs.
You can't lift the table up a little bit?
Okay, no, that doesn't move.
Hold on, girls. Just give me a second. Okay. Yes, ladies. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
Could you go over the duty factor equation?
Duty factor? Was that the one you were talking about, dear?
Yeah, duty factor.
Okay, good. Okay, go. So first of all, yes, okay. Duty factor. Now, first of all, okay, what was duty factor? Because mainly says, okay, that was going to be the percentage of the, sorry, PRP. That is constituted of the pulse duration. Now, just keep in mind, ladies, pulse duration. That was what we also, it's okay, call on time. We also call that talking time. So yes, okay, just because you don't see the word pulse duration in the definition, but you see the term on time or talking time, it will still be the same. Or you, yes, okay, the extreme could be that, okay, as they will say, the product of period and number of cycles. Because that's again, as okay, becomes pulse duration. But what it actually means is, okay, yes, what is going to be. Now, first of all, let's say it's okay, it's going to be, it's okay, a percentage. So how many percent of your PRP? Now, if this here is okay, was your PRP? Right, okay. It says, okay, this is the beginning of one pulse. Well, let me just do it this way. So we have the colors. Is it from beginning of one pulse? She is okay, following as okay to beginning of another pulse. This whole duration here is what we call the PRP. Now, there's always going to be as okay be expressed in okay as a certain value using as okay the unit of time, which could be seconds, which could be milliseconds. Maybe even, yes, okay, microseconds, who knows? Okay. But what remains is okay, just as what the duty factor actually is okay applies to is how much of this whole PRP here is actually is okay made up of the on time or talking time. Did that make sense?
Yes,
Now, ladies, if we just look at the definition of it, equation of it. Because usually it's okay, whenever it's okay, we current it's okay, calculate a percentage. Now I can give a very sick example. Some of you may not like it, but okay, that's how it's done. And we can say it's okay. You had, let's say it's okay, 40 questions on your test. Now somebody is okay, for instance, okay, might have answered 30 questions correct. So what is going to be a percentage now? A percentage mainly will mean that, okay, I had the numbers of questions on the test being 100. Because right now your score says, well, okay, out of 40 questions, yes, okay, you got 30 questions right. Whereas, okay, the percentage mainly is okay, what count as argument is okay, we'll say. Had there been 100 questions on the test and not 40, what would have been your score then? Yeah. Okay. So that's why it's okay when we say it's okay that we calculate the duty factor. We're going to say it's okay, duty factor that is going to be as okay, primary as okay equal to as okay the pulse duration divided by your PRP. And mainly as okay to make it a percentage as okay, we'll multiply that whole thing here by 100. Okay. Now, what I said, mainly because okay, the duty factor, although it's okay being a percentage, most likely is not going to be expressed as a percent, but rather as okay as a whole number. They even said at that time that okay, yes, for a duty factor of 100%. If your duty factor, for instance, was calculated as being 100%, that 100% is going to as okay be expressed as a duty factor of 1. But that is mean as okay, what you mean you only will see in case of okay as a continuous view. Because okay, all of your PRP is on time. Clear? Another thing that I'll ask you ladies is okay to be watchful about is that okay, yes, the units in which these two here are expressed may not be the same. This here may be expressed in just as, okay, milliseconds. Where this may be expressed in seconds, for instance, who knows? So if yes, okay, end up yes, okay, doing the math like this without converting them into the same unit, or it's okay, you're going to get an answer which is going to be pretty much off. So one thing that you need to do, either convert as okay, this second here into milliseconds, which is going to be easy, whatever number you had. You can say it's okay, 2 seconds. Now, if you want, just okay, no, it's worth of these 2 seconds here, okay, using the unit milliseconds. You actually will have to multiply this 2 by 1,000, and actually what I mean that okay is you have 2,000 milliseconds. 2,000 milliseconds is going to be equal to 10 seconds, not 2 seconds. They said that okay, as our pulse duration was, let's say, as okay, 1 millisecond. Now we can say it's okay, 1 millisecond divided by 2,000 milliseconds. Okay, now roughly we can say it's okay, 1 divided by 2 is a half. But then we go and say 1 divided by 2,000. It's going to be this. So this actually is okay, becomes your, duty factor. So 0.0005. Okay. But if you divide that by 100, then it means okay, this becomes 0.0005%. So actually, it's okay to get it as okay as a whole number and not a percentage. You don't really need to, it's okay, do this multiplication here.
Smudged out the face by mistake and I.
Yes, Esther, did I answer your question or are you still lost?
Yeah, you answered my question. I'm just having a little trouble with question 66 on the exam review. It's like a duty factor equation.
Okay, let me just look at that one.
Okay.
Question 66, right?
Yeah, 66.
Okay, Maria. Now, the answer to it, okay, let's see. So what do you see is, okay, the frequency of a continuous acoustic wave is 5 megahertz. Now we have, okay, as a continuous wave, which is 5 megahertz. Okay. Now the wave is then pulsed with a duty factor of 0.1. So our duty factor is 0.1. Right, okay. Where is the new frequency? Now look here, my dear. This frequency of 5 megahertz mainly mean that we had 5 million cycles per second. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Which mainly will mean that, okay, yes, the period of each cycle are going to just, okay, be 1 over 500,000. Or we can say, okay, 1/5 of a microsecond. That was the period of each cycle. Okay, but what they may just say is, okay, that if this, because this was a continuous wave, okay, it's pulsed, and your duty factor is 0.1% or 0.1. Okay. Now 0.1. Okay. Its mean is, okay, going to be equal to, or we can say it's okay. You multiply this by 100. Because it's okay, 10%. Okay. What is the new frequency? Oh, okay, okay. That's why. Okay. No. Sorry. That's just to put you off. Because what the frequency mainly would mean, although it's okay, continues, or because this was your frequency. This was the frequency of your cycles. Right, okay. That okay, as when we pulse it. You mean is okay, when we say that we pulse it, is that we have off time, now we had on time. And then we can see it's okay, we have off time. But your frequency, my dear, is still going to be as okay the same. Because you can mean says okay that the period of each cycle still remains the same. Is that clear? The thing
Yeah.
about it is okay as that okay as because had it not been pulsed, that's okay. If you said okay that this was okay, that's okay. A total time of okay 1 second. Had it not been pulsed, well, okay, you had, let's say it's okay, 5 million cycles completed in 1 second. we just also okay pulse it okay as where we have okay as a duty factor of okay 0.1. Or which correct yes okay just be as okay working call it's okay 10%. Okay, but what they mean is okay just ask you is okay where is the new frequency? That new frequency is not going to be changing. That will remain the same as 0.5. Oh, it is okay 5 megahertz. Because had it not been pulsed, well, okay, as the frequency will still have been such that okay, as 5 million cycles would have been completed in 1 second. Did that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Right, okay. I had to ask, yes, okay, what's going to be the pulse duration? Then you can say, okay, then that would have been, well, okay. You can say, okay, 1/10 of this. Basically says, okay, that your pulse duration then would have been 1/50th of a microsecond. Because of okay, the duty factor. So just think of it as okay, as if I, for instance, okay, utter or speak as okay, 50 million words in a second. That would be my frequency of words. But that frequency is okay, will still be the same even if I'm pulsed. Because the frequency of the sound wave is not going to be affected by me pulsing or talking pulses. I will still be able to, yes, okay, speak 5 million words in a second. In accordance to this question. The only thing is that I'm not doing it because I take a longer or shorter pause between, yes, okay, words to words to words to words. Is that clear? Is that clear, girls?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what I recommend you ladies to start doing is just, okay, start doing your revision if you already haven't. Okay, and okay, I start just, okay, be able to just, okay, pick up questions that you would like to, ask. So tomorrow is okay, maybe it's okay, we'll start off, okay, as continuing with chapter 15, slowly, gradually, okay? And okay, because after lunchtime, have okay as a smaller session like this, where you can ask whatever questions you have. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
ladies. Okay, I guess I see you ladies tomorrow then.
See you tomorrow.
Okay,
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.